Hey, Mama, look at that! Look at that hat. You are a fashion icon, my little Mama Queen.
Honey, it's your hat.
It is with my name on it. Yep.
I'm saving it for your future bride, baby.
Come on.
I was just telling him that Thomas is getting married. I didn't know that. Thomas Cobbs.
Yeah.
And he's starting his own company. I was just saying to Kyle how, I care so much about what he started as a player at USD for the kids. It's just fully remarkable. Like, you can't exaggerate it, Kyle. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, it's just, I mean, it's really beautiful, right? To be in a place, I hope that everything that I build is something that lives way beyond my lifetime. Right. And I even love, you think about the art, you think about the Autism Tree logo, you think about just the timelessness of creating art and being creative, both not only relationally, but even just on a creative way. And you think about, I think about Joel's art, Dana, that's behind you, right? Some of Joel's art that's behind Mama Sandy. And then here's Joel sitting in his studio, right? It's so beautiful to be in a place where we get the opportunity to create moments that literally last a lifetime. And that ultimately all that we have to give and all that we have to take with us are memories. And so it's beautiful. So why not just create a full life and have a ton of fun doing it?
I agree. And like I said, when I started, are we officially kicking off, I guess? Is that what we're doing?
There's my wall of all my pictures of my football player boys.
That's right. And Miss Karen, Mr. Jeff, how are you guys doing?
Good, Kyle. How are you?
Hi, Jeff. Well. It's good to see you guys.
Kyle, Jeff's coming to you from Massachusetts, and he has worked really hard with us. We've been doing lunch and learns for over a year. We started because of the pandemic to stay connected, and what we really found out is Rebecca and I, hi Glenn, are using these lunch and learns constantly, weekly for sure, as a resource. It's just amazing because we have 20 programs, and when we're talking about them, we can easily share a lunch and learn with someone or a new parent. Hi, Catriel. So the lunch and learns, have been an incredible blessing. For one, keeping us connected. Two, we do a follow-up, after the lunch and learn, so people that weren't on it right now can go back and look at it, and we capture, what people might say when we have like a kind of question we kick off. And the format has just been something that I really don't think that Rebecca and I realized that it was going to be so meaningful. And I guess the biggest thing that's made it so meaningful, Kyle, is because we don't over micromanage. As you know, you're coming, and we're just going to be blessed by what you decide you want to share. And what we do each week is really introduce each speaker in a very personal way as part of our ATPF family. In a year, it's been very few exceptions with someone who's new. And in that regard, then they'd be like a new community relationship. But as we were talking before we got on, everybody, hi, Terrence. Terrence also has been.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Hi, Dana.
I am introducing you to Kyle.
Hey.
Terrence is pretty special to Kyle because he has his own documentary. That's how we met. I went to his documentary, and he is a musician. And Terrence, do you want to tell Kyle what you do, what you're involved in right now?
Oh, sure. I'm a liaison spokesperson at the San Diego Symphony.
Wow.
We're actually going to go to the new show. I don't know if everybody knows, but
I saw the email that they sent me.
Yes, it's really exciting times in San Diego. They're likening it to the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
So we're getting to go with Terrence on this Saturday, and Todd Hoff is on here. Kyle, he wanted to see you.
Oh wait,
he has a day off today, so he's coming on his day off.
To get Mr. Todd on the screen, that's a big deal.
He's usually at work.
I love it. Man, hey, it must be hard being that handsome.
I look like you. I just need a hack.
That's
Kyle,
right.
I have to tell you, when the Lunch and Learns were originally Todd's idea when the pandemic started, he wanted us to stay connected, and he said, "Why don't you do, a weekly lunch with a speaker?" And it turned out, Todd, I was saying, to be more of a blessing than we ever imagined, because we get to reflect each week on the speaker. And then what's made it just incredible is every week the speaker is, honestly, I don't like using that word authentic too much. I feel like it's overused and it waters down how important being authentic is. But it's true. If you were to look at each week for over 58 Lunch and Learns, that's the special stuff, is just everyone bringing something that matters to them. And that's so unique. And Rebecca and I never know what we're getting into. And that's been really sweet. I think, especially considering we've been all at home for a year, and it's been, it hasn't been as exciting, I think, as we would all want as a global human race. So I think the Lunch and Learns have provided something that matters. And so, like I was saying, Kyle, Autism Tree has 20 programs now, but when I think, about it, I just think how much the program that you started means. And with that, we always kick off a question. And so I want to see if you want to answer this question for fun to get things rolling. I'll let Rebecca bring that up for you.
Sure. So we can, do you want me to do the quick update first, Dana?
Yes, I'm sorry. I took Rebecca off format. I got excited, Kyle. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, Rebecca, that'd be great.
Yeah, so a little update for everyone who has, I love seeing all of the familiar faces each week. But this is since all of our stats since last year, when the pandemic first hit San Diego and we went into shelter in place. We've completely pivoted online. We've now went across all of our social media channels. We've now reached over 602,000 people. Our posts have been shared over 1,025 times, which is just incredible. So thank you to everyone who's been following us on all of our social media channels and sharing our content and keeping everybody together, connected and positive, and just a whole community of love that's online. We now have 404 impact videos on our YouTube channel, which is amazing. So subscribe if you haven't yet. It's like only 1 minute to sign up. We've also posted 351 of those videos since March 12th of last year. So a huge majority of those videos have been from our community, from our program managers, our volunteers. So thanks to everyone. We're still accepting those videos. So if you want to create a special video that you want to share a message to our community, please reach out to me. Our Reading with Autism Tree video series is our volunteers reading children's books to our kids and families. We've also got a little free library going on at our founder's home, which has children's books at the little free library. So if you want to participate in this video series, you can let me know. We have provided 274 virtual events to date and have 30 events coming up between now and the end of August. We are starting to do some in-person events. We offered 19 of our 20 programs. We have 18 going on virtually and 2 in person. Our adaptive dance class is now both virtual and in person. And we also have our Bridge to the Beach camp coming up in July. So that's in 2 weeks, actually. And then we have another Bridge to the Beach Family Day, which we will be doing in August, that we just confirmed, which we're so excited about, August 7th. So if you have any questions about it, you can reach out to me. But yes, Dana, let's go ahead and jump right in. This is the question of the day.
Okay. Rebecca, you're on my screen. I'm not on my screen. Are you able to fix that on the speaker view?
Yes.
I don't know what's happening.
On Spotlight, here you go.
Okay. So Kyle, on the, thank you. On the background, you see people been sending in photos. That's because we want to see that people are having fun in their lives. This one you might recognize is in Anaheim at the Disney Adventure California. Thank you to Natalie for sending that in. And I would love to hear, Kyle, what is your favorite ATPF memory? And if anyone else wants to type in their favorite memory, we welcome that. We send it out in the follow-up email.
Yeah, send out memories, and I want to keep this thing highly relational. I do enjoy talking, but I want to hear questions. I want to interact. Terrence, I want to watch your documentary, so I got to find a way to do that. Jeff,
Oh, sure. Okay.
yeah. But I would say, oh man, it would be so hard. I honestly would have to go back to the inception. I think it's when this young man named Joel Anderson walked onto our practice field at USD with a painting of Lorenzo Neal, and he shared this story. And what was so interesting is Lorenzo Neal actually played for my grandfather at Fresno State, and was a good family friend of ours. And so there was this touch point. And then the reason why I would say that was my favorite memory is I believe that my life received, I didn't know how much of an upgrade my life received that day because of Joel Anderson, and then everything, the wake in which that Joel would create for the Autism Tree Project Foundation. Dana, to meet you and your amazing family, obviously to meet the Anderson family and Mama Sandy and Jeff and Jared and Joel. So that would definitely have to be my favorite memory. But I remember our first, kind of the first winter wonderland on the USD's camp. I mean, that was a ton of fun. I remember all the kiddos just loved having their nose painted red like Rudolph. And it was just such a touch point. What was so unique is that I saw these big, tough football players just absolutely melt and feel like kids again. And it was just because of what we had created and drawn up. And so, I mean, we could talk this whole time about all the memories, but I think it comes down to the relationships for me. The relationships, I think life is all about relationships. And I think meeting Joel that day, which then opened up the door to meeting the rest of the crew. And then now to see what has been created because of that one interaction, right? Then we talked about, before this call, you think about the years of all the football players, of all the other athletes, and now expanding onto other universities. I don't believe that Utah is going to be the last university that this program is brought to. And so that for me, it has to go back to Mr. Joel being the talented artist that he was on a hot spring day in the spring of 2009, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I remember that winter wonderland too, and being with Coach Carragher and his wife Wendy, and just being completely just mesmerized, thinking, yeah, this is it right here. And every year that was like our favorite, way to end the year was with Winter Wonderland. But the other thing, Kyle, 100% that I always think of when I think of my favorite Autism Tree memories, and specifically with you, is you had your wristband on. So you put an ATPF white wristband on at Winter Wonderland. Mm-hmm. And then it was April, National Autism Awareness Month, and you came up to me and you said, I haven't taken this off. And I just couldn't believe it. It was so special. And you're like, yeah, and I don't know if you had a clipboard or I did or Sandy did, but you're like, I'm gonna get all the players to sign up to be mentors. And I know, I'm sure Sandy and I were completely united, just thinking this is incredible. And that, was also a crazy thing that we tried to do, if you remember, at that April thank you that we did for you guys. Mm-hmm. We made chili. Yeah. And we had crock pots put in like every outlet in my house, and Wendy Carragher and I had made chili, and we were so worried that we didn't have enough to feed all you guys, especially after practice when you guys came up starving. But it was incredible the way you led the team in responding to Joel on the field that day when he spoke. And I remember he asked the team, will you guys stick up for someone with special needs? And you guys are all on bended knee, and you guys all said yes. And it was a pivotal moment. And you still had your white wristband on, and you led it. And it's definitely one of my favorite ATPF memories, all of it. And like I was telling you on the pre-call is, your legacy with this football program can't be over exaggerated. It's something that, that along with our parent mentor program and our early intervention, it just, I was saying when we met you, the kids were all so little. You know, that's what's crazy, Kyle. The foundation is 18 years old. And so that generation has now grown up and is going to college and getting jobs, and we're on the next generation. So it's really special to have you here today. And we picked out a video. Usually the video might just kind of be in reflection of the speaker, but this is actually you and Joel, which I looked at a number of videos, but I love this one. Sandy, thank you for bringing it out of the archives. I'm going to share it with everybody.
I find so much joy and excitement by giving to others. What I would say to students to get involved is do it once, and I promise you're gonna do it again. 2 Christmases ago, we were actually blessed with the opportunity to go to Nigeria, and it was just the most amazing experience. We were able to fund a water well, and we actually built trenches so they had a faucet with running water while we were there. Sharing a love and sharing a kindness and a care for people that are in need is what moves me.
My name is Joel Anderson. I'm 22 years old and I have autism. I've been friends with Kyle for almost 4 years. I've been drawing since I was 5 years old and painting since I was 11 years old.
I started out as Joel's mentor, and then he became a friend, and now he's a brother. It's been the most amazing experience for building relationships with these young autistic children.
It's been a very special journey for Kyle and Joel. I kind of think of them as like the country mouse and the city mouse. You've got the football athlete and you've got the young man with autism that's the artist, and kind of 2 unlikely people to put together. But what a special bond that they've had.
Joel and I, we text all the time. He keeps me updated on all of his life endeavors. And I mean, he's going around the world and speaking, and he's got art in New York.
Kyle has just been a natural older brother for Joel. And that's been really good for him to see, how do you act when you're out in public? How do you treat other people?
I'm just so proud of him, and to see the growth that he's made to conquer the challenges that he faces as being an autistic young man. And it's just been really, really refreshing to say that I have had a small part in the growth that he has made.
Children and young people with autism, and even adults with autism, have a very hard time having friendships. And Kyle has not given up, and he's become that friend that Joel never had. He and Kyle together, they're acting like brothers, and they're laughing and teasing and slapstick stuff back and forth. And that's really helped Joel open up.
Kyle has encouraged me to overcome many problems as much as I can.
We've gone on a couple of speaking engagements. We've gone to middle schools. We've gone to high schools and talked about autism. I think we're actually going to do a children's book, and Joel will probably end up doing all the paintings and artwork for that.
Negrete to punt. He will not punt. He will fake it and get the first down to the 40, to the 30. They don't even know he's coming at him still. All the way down to the 21-yard.
I'm going to invest my time. I'm going to invest my resources. I'm going to invest everything that I have to see Joel make it.
I love that video so much. You know, Rebecca, can you bring me back? Thank you. Kyle, I always think it's no accident which speaker we have every week. And, you know, for everybody, it's been really challenging with this global pandemic. And I don't think my family or our foundation is unique. But right now, today, I'm counting this as a huge blessing. Being with you, and also that Todd is on here and everyone else who's on here, because I really want to plant the seed with you sincerely that this program that you are the legacy liaison for is incredibly important and a lifeline to so many families, just like you're still so much a part of the Anderson family. And I know how important it is. I couldn't even possibly put it into words. Maybe Sandy will try, or you'll try, but I see this program without any hesitation as a lifeline that I would like to continue to see have deep, deep roots, and just know that I know where those roots start, and they start with you as the first player liaison and Coach Ron and Wendy Carragher. And you know, just what an incredible thing, Kyle, that John Hickey and Sandy Anderson are still so so caring deeply, and John puts so much of his heart and soul. Like I mentioned earlier, everybody, we're doing thank you, Glenn. It's nice to see you responding. Just, you know, John has a huge connection still to all the players, Kyle. And I just want you to know your legacy is still stronger than ever. And I hope that with the alumni players, that we'll just keep getting stronger and stronger. I think the community corner is a great new way to showcase what's going on with the players. And we just got a hold, if you looked at our last e-news too, Mass Mutual is supporting our Lunch and Learn efforts. And that all came from a new player, Cody Darrow. So he's now working there, and just big, you know, big gratitude today, and counting this as a blessing that you're here and that everyone gets to interact with you. And also to let you know, I always pick out a quote for the speaker each week. And this is the one that spoke to me that's perfect for you. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal. And I see you living that way in so many areas of your life, Kyle, since the day I met you. And this is kind of a fun going through the archives. Thank you, Sandy and Rebecca, for finding all these amazing photos. 2009, this was April, National Autism Awareness Month, which we were talking about earlier. You can see Joel's artwork out on the field, all the players on bended knee. It's kind of exactly what I was talking about when Joel spoke, and everyone was so interactive with him that day. And there's Kyle with his white ATPF wristband, and that's just the way I remember it. Him coming up and saying, "I haven't taken this off since Winter Wonderland," which was something I will never forget. And if you look behind Kyle, there's Joel, and then John Hickey's son, Lawson, my son Garrett, and then Levi. And Levi, the smallest one, is just graduating high school soon. Garrett just graduated college. Lawson's in college, and Joel, I know we celebrated his 30th birthday on his East Coast tour. So it's just incredible, 18 years later, to look at these photos and know Autism Tree, this program right here that we started in 2009 because of Kyle. There he is up top with Joel and Audie, who, Kyle, I don't know if you know, but Audie came and did a lunch and learn from Japan, which was really, really fun. I think he was on a subway when he was doing it or something crazy.
Yeah, he did. And I remember watching that, and he was wearing a beanie because his hair probably looked a lot like that hair in the top right photo right there. And his mama would have probably flown out to Japan and cut his hair for him.
He was going to try to get on today, so I don't know if he's popped in yet or not, but he was going to try.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, there's more photos to come.
What are you talking about, Mom?
There's a great photo of in the far left of Joel and Kyle, and that looks like it's after a game. And then below that is again, I think, are you holding? Yeah, that's you with Levi. You're holding Levi. You won't even believe what Levi looks like now, Kyle. He's so grown up. He's playing rugby. And there's Lawson and Joel in the far bottom one. And then Kyle and Joel and Sandy. If anyone on here doesn't know, Sandy is the mama to all the football players. And Kyle was always part of the Anderson family since day one. You can see in these photos, up above, top middle is the cheerleading team. And also then Sandy and Kyle, I don't know, it looks like you're at a game or after a game at that photo. And then Joel at his workstation.
Yeah, and then what's cool about that that photo at the workstation?
Okay, go back when we, okay, yep.
So that photo there was artwork that Joel had created. So after I had moved and transferred from USD to USC, I went to Nigeria. And Joel created art and created T-shirts for everyone on the trip using Joel's art, and that's the artwork. That's the shirt that we wore on our mission trip to Nigeria when I moved to USC. So that's a really great photo as well.
I love it. Yeah, add any stuff like that in. I think we have one more or two slides of photos to go. These are some of you guys all dressed up. I think that might be on Sandy's birthday cruise. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, that was the birthday cruise.
I was spoiled. I love taking these boys on vacation with us.
You want to say anything about that special trip, Sandy?
Well, you can see how happy we all were in the picture. And it was just a very special time that it was a dream. Well, Kyle, you can probably tell it better, or Joel, that Joel and Kyle had talked about probably like from day one. Joel's like, I want to go do a pirate cruise. And he's like, someday we'll go do it. And it took a few years, but we did it. And Kyle and Joel and Audie shared a room, and Dad and I were down the hall. And so the three guys would go do excursions and we would go do excursions, and then we would all meet up. And it was just the coolest thing ever that these guys cared so much to make Joel's dream come true, that you would even see that Joel brought pirate clothes for all of them. And they all dressed up and they walked all over the ship. And all the ladies knew these young men by the end of the cruise. They would, they treated everyone with kindness and respect. And it was just amazing, their example of their lives, and literally traveling the world with these guys. They are a true gift, and I love each and every one of them as my own.
Yeah, and I would say, just to add to that, one of the most beautiful parts about that trip, and Dan, this is what I love about Autism Tree and your guys' commitment to the parents as well, is that we, Audie and I and Joel really saw it as an opportunity to really bless Sandy and Jeff with time alone. And so we did have a separate room, and there were a few touch points during the day, but there was oftentimes like, hey, like Joel, mom and dad, like I want you away. I'm with my guys. And like we wanted to honor Jeff and Sandy with that time as well. And I just want to highlight and just celebrate Autism Tree's commitment to the parents as well. And that I think oftentimes, as it should be, the kids, right, should be the focal point. But I think oftentimes care for parents it is oftentimes the first thing to be disregarded. And I love and honor and celebrate Autism Tree's not only commitment to the amazing kiddos, but also to the courageous parents. And so I think that trip was very special to me, because as much as it was fulfilling one of Joel's dreams about going on a Pirate Caribbean cruise, it was even more so about being able to provide space for Jeff and Sandy to have time away from a reality of what life looks like at home.
Kyle,
hey, I just wanted to jump in real quick. Those cute little kids that you guys saw in the one picture, that Kyle was holding this guy.
Yeah.
And now Kyle, check out Lawson's beard that he's rocking.
Hey, come on. Hey, Lawson, I'm coming for you, bro.
All right, bring it.
You guys look good.
But hey, Lawson's taking off. I just wanted to have him jump in. And
yeah, great.
I love it. It's beautiful you brought that up, Kyle, and it's really important. And what's remarkable about you is you brought that up to me early on, when you were a new player, being our player liaison. You were trying to give Sandy a break and get to know Joel and like go to lunch with him.
Thanks, Lawson, for.
Yeah, it's amazing that you had that awareness as a young college student, and that you continue to illuminate that. And it is really important. There's no two ways about it. So, like I was saying, everybody, there's no accident at all who comes each week, and I'm counting this together with you as a huge blessing to have you get to know Kyle, who has a very big legacy at Autism Tree, starting this program in 2009, and still going strong. Thank you, John, for having the heartbeat for it. Love to you today.
No, thank you. I mean, I love, what started out, I think we just kind of stumbled our way right into this. all the decisions that we can make, right? Just a simple yes. What one simple yes can end up opening the door to, right? Where we're talking about, 13, or 11, 12, 13 years of legacy that's just going to continue, right? And this program is going to live I pray and I hope that it lives way beyond our days. But I think that there should be this program on every single college campus, right? And I don't say that as some theoretical wishful thinking. I say that in just seeing the byproduct and the fruit of the brilliant moments of having a buddy, right? I think that there's something so profound that we all need someone in our lives that will look at us square in the eyes and just believe in us, right? And that's what I love about what this program does, because these parents, you guys are the heroes, but I think that there's something about familiarity, right? And then there's a big football player or a really cool basketball player or a great soccer player, right, that comes in and just is able to meet, the kiddo where they're at. There's something so profound about that. And that's what I love about the program is that, and I love hearing about it being moved and being brought to Utah. And I'm just excited about all the opportunities that are going to present themselves, because I could tell you that I was really lucky. Unfortunately, I only got to really partake and enjoy it for 2 years, and being able to be actually ingrained in it. But as Audie shared when he talked, is there was a great passing of the torch, right? And there's not a better person on the planet to have passed the torch to. But I just think about just the opportunities of how we engage with the people around us, and how just one simple interaction has now ended up being a lifelong friendship with Mama Sandy and the rest of the Andersons, and obviously Dana and Todd and your family as well.
Hey, baby, well, I'm turning it all over to you, Kyle. From here out, you got the floor to do whatever you'd like with.
Oh,
ahead,
no.
Sorry, Sandy.
Yeah.
When you talked about Utah and the legacy and how it passed on, I want to share with you that literally this happened to me yesterday. I went to go get a shake at my health club over here. My girlfriend that runs it, she has 3 nephews on the spectrum. They used to live in California, and they decided that they needed to move to Utah because they'd heard about an autism program with the football team. And I'm like, get out. And she's like, no. She says they moved there. Their 3 sons all have a buddies from the football team. All the sports, they go to all the athletic events with their buddy. And I'm like, do you know who started that? I said, I think that was birthed out of us sharing with Utah. Remember, Dana, we had talked to them, and John, you're probably on that too, way back when Utah was first having their program with autism, and then sharing about how they wanted to do more and more with that. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, because it's just full circle. I mean, you just hear about it, and it doesn't end. The families that embrace it, and the football players and the soccer players and baseball players that embrace it. I mean, it's truly life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. And I even hearing that, Dana, I think that I put some fire underneath my tush to say, hey, what are areas, or where could we expand this with relationships that we currently have, right? Because it is scalable, right? And I love, Mama Sandy, the work that you did, and then passing that off to John, and then just John, the incredible work that you have done to expand and enhance and grow what was started needs to be absolutely celebrated. And I think what is cool, even to say in real time, to say, hey, disclaimer, PSA, like I want to help take this across the nation, and whatever way that I can help facilitate that with some of the relationships that I have, sign me up. So Rebecca, you could write that thing down. I guess we're recording too, so we're good to go. We got it on film. But yeah, I mean, I would say, just for those that don't know me, I went to USD. I was there for a couple years, and then I ended up having an unfortunate injury, and I had a back surgery, and I was going to have to transition from playing kind of outside linebacker and punter to just punting. And it was always my dream to play. at a big Division I school. And so I ended up getting the beautiful opportunity to transfer to USC, Southern California, just right up the 5. And ended up just having an incredible experience playing. I went from playing at USD, which was fantastic, but then I ended up, being able to play at USC, which I was playing in front of about 10 to 15 times more fans than I was at USD. But I will say I'm absolutely indebted to USD. My experience was absolutely incredible at the university. But I really feel like I went on this really interesting, fun journey of chasing my dreams, and that's what I ended up doing. Ended up having an incredible career at USC. Then it warranted me, because of the platform that I had there, to go do a little brief stint with the Chicago Bears. I ended up getting cut in rookie training camp. But that was another incredible experience. And I graduated with a degree in finance. And so what do you do when you graduate with a degree in finance? You go work on Wall Street in New York City. And, I say, I talk about the Best Buddies program, but one of the things that I believe that my life has always been marked by is by mentorship. I've always had people that have come into my life and have helped mold me, shape me into the man that I am today. Right. Which is, I believe, a small byproduct of the buddy program that we've created. And so I really received that job working on Wall Street strictly because I knew someone who believed in me. And I went to them, asked for a little advice, and they said, "You're moving to New York City and you're working for Blackstone." So that was an incredible experience. To make a long story short, just for time purposes, I ended up having this wild idea of helping start an orphanage in Haiti. This was shortly after I moved to New York City, 3 months actually. I ended up being down in Haiti, and we ended up buying a house, and then we adopted 12 kids. And that was an incredible experience as well. And so what ended up happening is, while I was working in finance in New York City, I was flying down to Haiti once every 2 to 3 months. And about 2.5 years into doing this every single 2 or 3 months, I really felt an invitation to pack my bags from Wall Street and go live on a house with no street. And that's what I did. And so I ended up moving to Haiti, and I absolutely loved my time there. It was wild. It was like nothing that I had ever experienced before. Guys, you could imagine, I ended up sleeping, and I don't say this to toot my own horn, but I ended up sleeping on a twin mattress on the roof for 2 years straight, because we didn't have electricity or power typically during the night. And so we didn't have any AC. And so you could imagine it was a very centering and challenging living situation. But I absolutely loved my time there, and was able to got to see God do some really, really cool things. And so that happened. Then I ended up moving back, and then now I'm in Austin, Texas. And I've been here for almost 3 years. I absolutely love living here. There's a lot of excitement. I feel all you Californians are moving out here. I feel I'm kind of indifferent about it, but it is tough because now housing prices are just through the roof. So if you're in real estate, this is the place to invest. But I think, with that being said, I think the one thing that I would hope that people would understand and take from our time together is, life is all about relationships. Life is all about being present. The only finite resource that all of us on this call, that all of us around the world have, is time. And so how we choose to use that time, express that time, give that time, says a lot about our hearts. And I say this not to sound morbid, but I think at the end of the day, the only thing that we have to take with us tomorrow are memories that we created today. And I would hope that we would be people, especially after 18 months of this pandemic, where there's a lot of lonely people. There's a lot of people that are struggling with their thoughts, struggling with family life, being around each other so much. There's a lot of people, right, that have lost their ability to dream. And one of the things that I believe that is shifting, especially as we learn how to enter back into a new world as we knew it, is that we know that we've arrived at hope when we're able to dream again. And I would hope that today you would receive an infusion of hope, right? That in this interaction, as we share, right, all these beautiful people on the screen, I would hope that you would leave here knowing that there is absolute purpose for your life, right? And I would hope that you would find someone, if you don't have one, and I imagine everyone does, which is why one of the reasons why you're here, but find people who are going to champion and celebrate you. We need cheerleaders in our lives because the storms of life are going to come, right? And I would just, my hope and my desire would be that you would find people to celebrate. And that's what I love. That's one of the things that I love most about Autism Tree, right? Is you guys have provided a platform, all the different groups, I think, what is it, 18 different groups now?
Programs virtually.
18 different programs, is it 18 different programs, right?
Absolutely.
We need to celebrate that. That is absolutely worthy of celebration. And I love that I was able to have a front row seat in a really cool tidal wave that I believe is still growing. And it's a tidal wave of goodness. It's a tidal wave of love and of care and of nurture. And I would say of those three things, we really need those things right now. And I love that there is no one that's off limits from the love as made evident in all the hearts on the tree, right? Which I love the look, but there is no one that's off limits from what love was invited into by Autism Tree being created. And the fact that Best Buddies is just an offshoot of that which that Autism Tree was created, I celebrate that. And so, I mean, I personally, I don't like talking about myself. I would love to you guys are all amazing people. And I would love to just open up, I would love to just open up this time for some questions or some comments. I'd love to interact with you guys. Rebecca, I don't know how much time we have.
Stay as long as you want to be on this call. We'll take as much of this love and light as we can, but I'm definitely going to monitor the chat.
Please.
If anybody has any questions, and then Mr. Todd Hoff has been patiently waiting with his hand up, so I'll pass the floor over to him first.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Todd.
Your life, I can't wait for the movie to come out, figure out who's going to play you. You're so humble. You've accomplished so much, but I want to go back to when you were this, young man who shows up at USD and this, coach character. Tell me a little bit more, because clearly you have, your parents have raised you, the experiences you had as a young kid made you you're so mature at such a young age, at a time when, you had your dream. Your dream was to be a football player. But somehow your heart and what you did, ignited for so long and so impactful. So tell me a little bit more about you as that young kid and that journey to USD. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question, but I would say it really started when, I was 12 years old. Unfortunately, my mom had lost her battle to breast cancer. And she was a first grade teacher. And so I just remember she was so full of life. She had this superpower, Todd, of walking into a room and making every single person feel like they were the most important person in the room. That was her superpower. I don't know what her name would be, but Miss Important or something. And so she had that beautiful ability, but I was raised in an environment that was always built and integrated around how can we be generous, right? What is the next decision that I can make that's going to make me the most generous? And so for me, I think I caught the revelation and the wisdom from my dad and from other people that were brought into my life, that life is but a vapor, right? Our life can be taken away and like that. And so I don't know what it was. Maybe I was just a young sage. Maybe I think I just grew up very, very young. But I will tell you, I didn't know any better. Right. So I don't want people to hear like, oh my gosh, you were so great and so important. I was just making decisions based on what I'd been exposed to. So I guess who I really have to thank is my dad. And my sisters, my two younger sisters who, had the privilege of really kind of mothering and fathering, in those years, after the tragedy with my mom. And then my dad gets remarried and my stepmom's amazing. And so I would really just, I'd cater it to, I guess, just a great upbringing. But I don't want anyone to think that, hey, here's this guy that lived on this pedestal who thinks he's great at everything. I just didn't know any better. And so I guess I just really need to thank my parents. Maybe I should write them some more handwritten notes. Hey, guys, just so you know, write handwritten thank you notes. Okay. If you don't take anything away from anything else I say, write handwritten thank you notes. I don't want to wait till someone passes away to tell them how much they impacted me. Okay. I say this in a very real way. It's always the right time to express gratitude. I don't know why I'm going on this tangent, but I'm like ADD, scroll all over the place. But in that, I would say, Todd, and as I matured, right, as a young teen, I think I just saw the effect of what it meant to just be really present with someone. I remember our Christmases or Christmas Eves, like it was open door policy at the Negrete household. Like we didn't know who was going to show up, but if you didn't have a place to go, like there was an open invite and no questions asked. And so I guess my dad is just a way better man than I am. And so if I'm growing and I'm learning to become more like him. And so I think ultimately I had exposure to what life, living a life outside of myself looked like. And so making the decision of hearing Joel's story, right, in the spring of 2009, that wasn't some grandiose, big, like Kyle way to go thing. That was just like a natural response to hear a powerful story and to say like, oh my gosh, like we can do a lot here. And it wasn't, hey, Joel needs me. It was, I need Joel. Right. And I think that's what has been so cool is to reorient. And that's what I love too about Autism Tree and what you guys have created is that I don't even like the term special needs. I don't like using that term. Yes, we're all, I would say we're all special. I'm special and I got a ton of needs. So call me special needs too. Right. And so I think that I would say we've all been designed with all these beautiful skills and talents. And so how we choose to engage with that says a lot about ourselves. And so that's a long-winded answer.
No, thank you. I think that's very raw. That's a powerful story, the loss of your mom. Thank you for sharing that. It obviously shows the character and what your family and your dad has done. So now you're a man. You've made some big decisions and made a big impact in a lot of kids' lives down in Haiti. Now you're in Texas. What's your plan for the next 2 years?
I wish I knew. My plan is to light the world on fire with a bunch of love, with a bunch of laughter, and a bunch of kindness, and by any means necessary. I say that I love what I get to do. I get the opportunity to work with a lot of premier thought leaders, pastors, politicians, athletes around the world that have platforms. I get the opportunity of managing and representing them, helping them, carry their stories into the world. Right. So I would say I'd hope to bring on some more clients that I believe have stories that are going to help people. So that in a very practical way, would hope to meet the love of my life. That would be another amazing feat. I know Mama Sandy's probably getting tired of praying. Her knees probably have some blisters from praying so much for that. But no, I say that jokingly, but I know Audie made a reference to it on his call too. So I guess I have permission as well. But ultimately, I think that right now I'm at this really interesting place where I want to make the world a better place. I want everything that I do to have significance attached to it. And I think what that looks like is being absolutely present with the people that are right in front of me and engaging with right now. Like the season that I just want to tell you, the season that we're all supposed to be in is the season that's underneath our feet. And I think oftentimes we could look at our past, or we could look to the future, and we absolutely miss being faithful and present in the right now. And so I hope that the next 2 years would be marked by me just being present right now and not missing the miracle of those that are around me for times like this, right? Like my life is better, right? Is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday, right? My Wednesday afternoon is much better because we decided to hop on a call and have a little fun together. And here we are all around the world on screens being able to engage with one another. I mean, that's beautiful. And so for me, I hope that my life is marked by more moments like these lunch and learns, live and learns, what the L and L's.
I love it. Oh, I'll read some comments from the chat because people have been typing in a lot of sweet things. So, and give other people a chance to elaborate if they want. Jeff said, glad you had some NFL experience. Too bad you didn't end up with the Patriots. You would have worked with Tom Goat Brady. Jeff's from Massachusetts. He's a big Patriots fan. I love it.
I think that might be a Patriots blanket, maybe.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It's, that's a Patriot blanket with Mickey Mouse on it. So
there we go, Jeff. I like that.
And then John Hickey shared a really memorable quote. He said, "You never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." Dr. Seuss. Thanks for making a lot of memories, Kyle.
Beautiful.
And Terry,
can I share a memory?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Sandy.
So baby, you remember when you said you wanted to take Joel for the weekend because your heart was for me and Dad. So yeah, he does call Jeff and I mom and pops. So and Audie too, it's mom and dad. So and first of all, that was the first time he called me mom. I like cried because I know his story with his mom, and he didn't throw that term around lightly. And when that first happened, that really touched my heart, and I cried. So anyways, I love him as my own. He is, we call them our grafted in sons. They're grafted into our family tree. And so they're just that close, but it's because of moments like this. So he said, I want to take Joel for the weekend so you and Dad can have a weekend away. And we're like, what? Nobody's ever done that. Joel's never had a sleepover or anything. And this was college and it was USC. And he says, no, I want to take him for the weekend. And it shows you how much I trusted him, because I don't trust Joel with that many people at that age, because I didn't, it's a unique situation. So he took him to college for the weekend. Jeff and I actually went to an autism conference. So it wasn't like a week away, but we're getting texts from them going, we're off to, was it Chow's for dinner with Matt Barkley and all the football players? And Jeff and I are like, what? He's having dinner with Matt and Cleed and all these big football players from USC, and then it's like, oh, he just met, was it Coach Hayden or, somebody with the, that was the athletic director at USC, and they were at swimming events and all kinds of stuff. And we were just like so in awe of that, college is busy for a guy and an athlete, and for him to make that time and make those memories for all of us. I mean, that's just one of a million memories of us, but that was just like one of the first times that he took Joel all on his own. Someday I'm going to send him to you in Texas, honey.
That's right. Bring him on home.
I love it.
Yeah, but I love all these. I love all these comments too. John and Terrence. Oh yeah. See, Terrence got the fight on going.
Fight
see,
on.
Hey, see, Terrence knows what's up.
Love USC.
Yeah. And Karen, thank you for your kind words.
Oh, me? Oh, no problem. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
And Glenn Lasker, thanks Glenn for joining us today. He said, Kyle, how fortunate for ATPF to have this special relationship with you. Thank you. I'm inspired by this Lunch and Learn. Thank you. I'd love to share messages with you in the future. Glenn is an uncle. He has an 18-year-old nephew with autism who lives in New York. Right, Glenn?
Thank you, Kyle. Beautiful, beautiful presentation.
Yeah, absolutely, Glenn. I'll give you my contact. You give me a call, text me, Facebook, whatever.
I thought about visiting Austin here this past year, as a matter of fact. So maybe you'll see me in person someday.
Well, come on home. I'll take you to some good barbecue, some good.
Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Yes.
Kyle, I think you know most people on the call, right? Remember Karen Wright? She runs our ministry.
Yep, absolutely.
And Catriel, do you want to tell Kyle what you do at Autism Tree, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I am an intern at ATPF, and I have created a video series with ATPF called Life Lessons with Catriel. And I have Asperger's myself, and so basically it's just that the video series is basically all the lessons I have learned and advice I have for people who have autism. And obviously not all of it's going to stick, but I hope some of it sticks. And yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me.
Wow, Katra, that's beautiful. Well, what I'll do is I'll have Dana send me a link to your videos, and I'd love to go look at them. And I just want to tell you, you are so beautiful. I hope that you know that, and that that you feel that, and that big beautiful smile. The world needs that big beautiful smile of yours. Okay, so I know the world tries to take it away, but you just keep on smiling. Okay, you promise me that? Yeah.
And I told you Jeff's coming from Massachusetts, but he has become a huge advocate for, helping others with the autism journey. I don't know if you want to share anything about what you've expanded your role in the autism world, Jeff, so much. I don't know if you want to share anything with Kyle about who you are and what kind of like, I just have seen you take a quantum leap in your life in the last year, Jeff, and I want you to know I'm very, very proud of you and honored to have you come on each week. And I want to make sure Kyle meets you too.
Well, thank you, Dana. Kyle, if you're ever interested, I run a blog, which has been for about over a month now, called Going the Distance. It's on WordPress. And if you like, I will post it in the, I'm going to post it in the chat wall, but it covers my journey from about growing up with autism and stuff and living through it. And I do a blog Monday through Fridays. I also offer speaking and helping out services, either virtually or in person. And in fact, I'm going to be back out in San Diego for the ATPF Boys End of Summer Beach Day on September 11th. So
beautiful. That's amazing.
What we can do, Jeff, is we can link your stuff in our follow-up email this time. Okay. Let's do
that. Yeah. I would love all of that. Anything that you guys are creating, writing. I know, Terrence, you have your documentary. That's right. You have.
Yes.
Send it all.
Okay.
That would be awesome. I'd love to honor and celebrate you guys. And
oh yeah, that'll be nice.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle. You're just continuing your legacy of being a buddy to everybody over here.
Hey,
well, it's good to have you here on Launch and Learn.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I just can't wait to see all that you're creating. I know you're working on the Rudy series, I think, when we talked last night.
Yes.
I'm excited to see how that works.
Huh.
Joel, tell everybody what movie series you're working on. I don't know about this.
What movie series?
Oh, Rudy.
Got it. Yes.
The first one was Scared. The second was Rudy's Home. Third one is Rudy's Worried. Fourth one is Rudy's Gift, Christmas. And fifth was Rudy's Egg Hunt. And now the sixth one is Rudy's Loved. And the next one, seventh one after that, is Rudy's Enough, or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, we're excited to see what you create, Joel. You're an inspiration to me.
Thank you, Kyle. I have a feeling John and everyone is going to take you up on making this legacy grow.
Yeah, no, truly. Let's hop on.
Yeah, Becca didn't read my chat comment where I said, let's do it. So I will be reaching out. Dana, Becca, and I have talked about expanding the program beyond Utah, getting it restarted at San Jose State. And, I want to, you said you lit the fire under yourself. You lit the fire under me too, bud. So let's get it going, and let's do an Austin style bonfire of love out there for everybody.
Kyle, I know you think big, but I think what we really need is a big grant, a corporate sponsor, a leader. You know, there's more than one man that runs large companies that has a son with autism. I know that. I know you know that too. And it really would just take one company to make this really have, you know, the staff behind it to really travel and do it. You know, that's what I would like to see happen.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Todd, do you want to say any last parting words? Because I really appreciate that you're here. This is only the second time, Kyle, that Todd's been on. So thank you for that, T.
No, yes, thank you.
Kyle, I see the big steer back behind you, and having spent all my summers on a ranch, I know how majestic these, you know, big steers are. And you come across with those broad shoulders. What you've done as a leader and thought leader at such a young age. I mean, again, I'm just so humbled by your leadership at USD, and then your courage going through back surgery and to still get to USD, and then have the opportunity even at the NFL. It's such a rarity, you know, the 0.5% of the 1% even get that opportunity, and then what you've done that's even more so in Haiti. I mean, that's just a awesome calling on your heart. We have just been blessed through Joel and the foundation to have you touch us. I think you're a powerful inspiration for everybody to be able to live with kindness. And it's interesting, I'm still evolving at my age, and I feel so immature listening to you, because Dana's been working on me about presence. So presence is our effort in our coming back to San Diego. And so I got to tell you, you're my inspiration. I couldn't be more proud of you. If there's something I can ever do for you and keep your flame ignited, let me be your biggest cheerleader. God bless you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Well, we have to take a group photo. So, John, we got to see your face. Anybody who's not showing their face, we'd love to see your face. This is for Kyle's memory today.
Come on.
All right, there we go. Everybody smile.
3, 2, 1. Cheese. Got it.
Hope I see you in person, Kyle, in this year somehow when you come visit your San Diego Anderson family.
Absolutely, I will. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. So thank you.
It was great meeting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Kyle.
Thank you, everybody.
Nice meeting you.
Hi, sweetie. Love you.
Bye. Have a good one.
Thanks, Dana.
Bye, sweetie. I love you too.
Bye, Mama.
Love you too, John.
I love it.